This is Yordenis Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. Yordenis Ugas is the real and the true boogeyman of 147. Let me say it again. Yordenis Ugas is the real and the true boogeyman of 147-pound division. Errol Spence was formerly known as the boogeyman. Now is the Big Fish fighting all of these little guppies. Let me say it again. Errol Spence was formerly known as, like Prince, formerly known as the real and the true boogeyman. Now he's the Big Fish fighting all of the little guppies. So the truth of the fact of the matter is, who moves and who pushes the needle for 147? It's Errol Spence, because this man is on a temporary sabbatical right now, and his name's being called out. Oh, Errol Spence is going to fight Danny Garcia. Matter of fact, Yordenis Sport was the first one to break it, because all y'all gotta do is go look at my breaking news. Go look at all the other channels and look at Yordenis Sport. I was the first one to tell you guys breaking news with the Manny Pacquiao situation and the IBF. Everybody else is just keep copycatting after now. So the truth of the fact of the matter is, Errol Spence, his name is being called out left and fucking right. Oh, fight Danny Garcia. But we already knew that fight was going to happen, because Danny Garcia stepped his rabbit ass in the ring. We know he's the fucking WBC silver champion. We fucking know this stuff. So we knew that fight was going to happen. So when people say, oh, well, why Errol Spence fighting Danny Garcia? He should be fighting Terrence Bud Crawford. Because Errol Spence is a, not one, but 2 belt holder. So now he has mandatory obligations for not 1, but 2 fucking belts. We know unification bouts, they trump mandatories. We know that shit. But Terrence Bud Crawford's rabbit ass is on the other side of the street. So we already know the situation that's going on with Al Heyman and Bob Arum. You have to be what we call classic Dodo no Troglodyte. You have to be what we call ultra fanboy with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. And you have to be what we call Rudy Corner Plum Plum Brain to not understand the full weight and the full gravity of this stuff. So Terrence Bud Crawford, like I told you guys, anything less than undisputed at 147 is uncivilized. Let me say it again. Anything less than undisputed at 147 is uncivilized. If the fight happens too soon, it's not good for boxing. It's supposed to be a superstar fight of epic proportions and of epic magnitudes. Let me say it again. It's supposed to be a superstar fight of epic proportions and epic magnitudes. You don't want this fight happening too soon. It should happen at the back end of 2020, but Errol Spence got to clean up his side of the damn street whenever he decides to come back. But why is his fucking name being mentioned? This is the stuff that I was trying to tell you guys. These fucking welterweights stand still like a motherfucker. None of them wants to fight the real and the true boogeyman, Yordenis Ugas. I don't see Yordenis Ugas coming out of Danny Garcia's mouth. What the fuck is he doing? Sitting there being bitter, sitting on the sidelines because it was Errol Spence or bust. Oh, now I ain't gonna get Errol Spence. Oh, I'm gonna have to look at Manny Pacquiao. No, motherfucker. You just fought Adrian Granados. Let me say it again. You just fought Adrian Granados. You need to work your rabbit ass up back into the ranks. Let me say it again. You need to work your rabbit ass up back into the ranks. Adrian Granados don't get you no cheddar. Look who Adrian Granados is fighting next. Robert Easter fucking Jr. So this guy's not legitimately 147. This motherfucker's bouncing right back and forth. Back and forth. He don't know which weight class he want to land on. That's who you fucking fought. Another fucking Mikey Garcia. I can't tell the difference between Mikey Garcia and Adrian Granados at this point. That's who you fucking fought. So why aren't you fighting Yordenis Ugas? See, this is the question that boxing fans are not asking. But leave Yordenis Sport to ask the questions that no one is willing to ask, or no one is willing to want the answer to. Let me say it again. Leave Yordenis Sport to ask the question that no one is willing to ask, or no one is willing to get the answer to, because they know if they ask this question or they give you the answer, then they have to come to the realization that they were filled with lies and bias and a pandering bullshit narrative. Yordenis Ugas is the real and the true boogeyman at 147. Nobody wants free smoke from that dude. So Danny Garcia doesn't mention him. Sean Gatekeeper Porter obviously doesn't mention Yordenis Ugas because he knows what time it is. You saw his fight against Yordenis Ugas the first time around. And don't tell me, oh, if it was that Sean Porter that fought Errol Spence, bull fucking shit. Stylistically, Yordenis Ugas is tailor-made to go toe-to-toe with fucking Sean Porter because he's a boxer. He's a Cuban background boxer with a pedigree like nobody's business. That's why stylistically he was able to give Sean Porter fits, because Sean Porter's still awkward. Sean Porter's still losing fights Because he's not the more technically and fundamentally sound fighter. He makes too many mistakes in the boxing ring. Too many mistakes in the square circle. This is why in close fights, every time he fights against all of these arduous opponents, he ends up with the L. You think that L on his damn forehead, let me say it again, you think that L on his forehead just came because it came out of nowhere? No. It's because he's constipated in the ring. I don't care what anybody tell me. He's still in some variation. It's not the full variation because he showed me he gave some respect from me, but he's in some variation. He's still constipated in the ring because he's never the more technically and never the more fundamentally sound fighter. Errol Spence is the best at beating Shawn Porter because he definitively knocked him down. Not that flash knockdown that Adrian Broner did or the real and the true boogeyman Yordenis Ugas did. It was a real knockdown because Shawn Porter needed some time to regather himself. That's how you know when a motherfucker knock your ass down, because you need time and you need moment to gather yourself, and there has to be a count. See what I'm saying? So the truth of the fact of the matter is, why Shawn Porter not saying, let me get that get back? The way that I fought Errol Spence, I want to prove to everyone that that fight against Yordenis Ugas was an aberration. It wasn't what it was. I don't see him clamoring for that. There's a reason for that, folks. Because he knows stylistically Yordenis Ugas gives him fits. Keith Thurman, this motherfucker can't stay healthy for shit. Injured again. But when he wasn't injured, did Yordenis Ugas come out of his mouth? No. See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. He knows the sport, and the prediction king strikes again. Let me say it again. He knows the sport, and the prediction king strikes again. I always come in prediction king fashion and give you guys these predictions as laid out, because I'm Sun Tzu, aka Art of War, 7 steps ahead of the game. And I told you guys, without Errol the True Spence, without the big fish, these little guppies would be in a standstill. Let me say it again. Without Errol the True Spence, these little guppies, a la welterweights, would be at a fucking standstill. And what's happening? The division's not moving. Because Errol the True Spence is the only one that wants all that free smoke. He's the only one clamoring to clean out the division. Then we got Terrence Buck Crawford. This motherfucker fighting Marvel characters and WWE characters. What the fuck is a green mean machine? This is the stuff that I'm talking about. But he won't fight his friend Shawn Porter because they're singing that song together. My buddy and me. My buddy and me. My buddy and me. They're buddies. Same bullshit with Timothy Knothead ass Bradley. They were fucking buddies. So I guess when you're a buddy of Terrence Buck Crawford, you are off limits. But hold up, Errol the True Spence, wasn't Lamont Peterson his boy? What happened? He almost decapitated that motherfucker in the ring. Wasn't he cool with Shawn Porter? He dropped that motherfucker in the 11th round. So I thought it was the Hurt business. We fight first, friends later. Let me say it again. We fight first, friends later. See, this is a question that none of these classic dolts and these troglodytes, these Rudy Poo and these plum breaks, these ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric are telling you. But he knows the sport. Has to bring it out. Has to lay it out on the red carpet, front and center, to answer the fucking question and be the one to mention the fucking question. Because I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks of these Rudy Poo and these plum brain ultra fucking fanboys. And like the Tibetan Mastiff that I am, I apply what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It busts fucking pipes, folks. People love that keeps the foot on the neck style. Because it lays everything out in cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth-telling fashion. So the truth of the fact of the matter is, Yordenis Ugas is the real and the true boogeyman. Errol the True Spence, formerly known as the real and the true boogeyman, is the big fish, moving the thumb and moving the fucking needle and making these little guppies get out of their standstill position and actually move. Watch. When he comes back in grand fashion or grandeur fashion, you will see how the welterweight moves again. Because nobody wants to fight Yordenis Ugas. These are the questions that people need to be asking, like he knows the sport is. And these are the answers that people need to be rendering in only the fashion that he knows the sport can. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.